I'm married, and Ray is
Married to the game.
so well. And then here we have it. So we're gonna jump right straight into it, man. Um, Wavy Ray, Kevin Samuels' name brought up one or two feelings in people. They either loved what he was saying and what he stood for, or people just despised him and thought he was just you know too masculine and was anti-feminist, or everyone has their own perspectives as to what he represented. What did he mean to you? What was some life changing advice and things that you were able to take from him?
Man, a lot of things really. I didn't get to watch him too long. I got to him like basically at the boom of his at the peak of his career, which is, I guess, it was probably the most important time to to listen to his content. So I was listening to him for about a year, and one of the main things that he put me on game about was how men how men do have this criteria of we need a certain we need to make a certain amount of money to be able to be comfortable in a relationship, or even in a having a spouse, or being married, period. And that's the reality of things. And I think a lot of us try to ignore that. We try to live on the whole Hollywood movie, beautiful ending thing. But one of the things is, the reality is, man, you got to be able to provide. And one of the big reasons for divorces is money. you know Second thing he told me that he put me on game was, I never really thought about it like this, but he always talked about there's three laws to the dating game. Three laws of things you can't change. Gravity, what goes up must come down. And two of them are controlled by women. One of them is controlled by men. The two that are controlled by women are, they control who has sex, and they control who has babies. And men, you could say, probably control probably the most important one is who gets married. And when he put it that way to me, man, it gave me a lot of it let me know how much power we have as men at the same time, and we have to be accountable with our actions, and the women that we choose to live the rest of our lives with. So so many more lessons, man, I can say, but those are probably the two top things that I learned from him.
Man, that's real. I would say that that's accurate. I mean, I don't think anybody that's logical will refute that. For me, my biggest thing is, once again, a lot of people, when that name Kevin Samuels comes up, they have different emotions and feelings about that arise. My biggest thing was, I want to I want to amplify what the positives. He came in to ensure that we were accountable, and that predominantly black families were staying together. If folks aren't married, single mothers, single fathers, broken families. So he
Real.
wanted to make sure, before we got into the serious commitment, the most serious commitment you'll make in your lifetime is who you decide to share this life with. So he made sure that he had a reality, that he was putting a perspective of the reality of what women were looking for, what men were looking for, and he tried to make sure and merge those, and to remind them our roles. My biggest thing is what I took from him, and like I said, I know that he verbally said he wants to make sure that black families are staying together, because we all know that that's why a lot of young men and women kind of go astray and don't live up to their potentials, because mom and dad aren't living in the same household. So that's one positive thing. And obviously, he didn't just talk to just black people in general. It was to anybody that had an ear, any woman or man that had an ear to listen. And that's the key thing. I didn't agree with 100% of everything that he said, but
Right.
if you sat down, he was provocative in a lot of things he says, but I think that was a part of what he had to do to grab people's attention. And at the end of the day, I always say, what was the intention of someone's heart? And I know his heart was in the right place by the way he spoke. And if some people would just listen instead of being so defensive and tuning him out, a lot of people, both men and women, would learn from him. And the second thing I want to drive home and mention was, in the beginning of his YouTube, his internet career, he was talking to men for about 2 or 3 years. If the receipts are there. He was holding us accountable, as you mentioned, making sure you make a specific amount of money. Men, not boys, men. even now, me, I'm a married man, got 2 children and a wife. I'm the married part of Married into the Game. I didn't want to get married until I had my ducks in a row, you know, until I had money, the house, the cars, and financial stability. But you know, my wife came along and we've been building together, and that's a beautiful thing in itself. But always, as a man, you need to be thinking about financial security and providing. And as long as you're doing that, a woman, not a woman trying to be a man, a woman will lead and follow you. And lastly, I just want to say, women think that being submissive is a negative or is allows you to be vulnerable. That's not, or it's a weakness is the word I'm looking for. That's not always the truth. We all have roles, and there's strengths and weaknesses on both ends. It's just a balancing act, and we can go and dive more into that, you know, as we go along. But I kind of wanted just to put that out there as to what he represented and what a lot of people had misconstrued that didn't give him a chance.
Yeah, I would say it is also a lot of people refuse to watch the content, and I would say this: you got to you know, before you judge, you have to watch the full content. You know, unfortunately, a lot of times, what made him go viral was those negative, quick clips, 20-second clips of him checking somebody. You know, because I watched this content a lot of times. Shorty used to go on there wilding, tripping, talking to him crazy, and he'll correct him, he'll check him, you know, or he'll, you know, at the end of the day, it was his platform, and he had to keep order.
Right.
He had a lot of people you know, hundred thousands of people used to watch his content at one time, live on Instagram or live on YouTube. So he had to keep it in order, and he did a great job of doing that. But to add to that, he wanted to see women win. Like, so I get kind of in a sense defensive when I hear females in particular say that he hates women or he hated women. He was really for the women all the day long. He was telling y'all the secrets to success, the secrets to getting the man of your dreams, the secrets to getting the man that you wanted, what to expect from this man, you know. And he just dropped the code. So like I said, just watch his content. Watch his content if you ever get a chance, man. People gonna write books about it and probably get a movie about it, man. That man did a lot. Man did a lot.
And you know, at the end of the day, every situation is different. And another thing, like I said, I'm adding all the big highlights to his life, you know, right now. A lot of people don't talk about, which he even talked about, how he allowed he brought people together. A lot of women and a lot of people got married because of this man. And in a Facebook page he started it, or some women that, you know, were thinking about leaving their husbands or vice versa. He put things into perspective for them, because at the end of the day, sometimes we do need someone to kind of, you know, clean the lens, if you will, to see things clearer. And he did that. He put things into perspective. As you mentioned, Hollywood, a lot of, you know, we watch movies and a lot of people kind of have this fairy tale in their mind. Well, you can create it, but it just may not look like the one that you thought, you know, you were going to have. So that's why he kind of put in perspective age. He would talk about weight and things like that. How are you taking yourself, mentality. My biggest thing that I've always said before even watching his content was, what are you doing to put yourself in a position? Some women, they want to be married. Some women know from a young girl, age of 5, they put on princess dresses and they imagine they're Prince Charming, and the frog give them a kiss and turn into Prince Charming. That's great, but there's a requirement that comes with that. Just like any job description, I can't go tomorrow and go try to work for Tesla and I don't know anything about, you know, vehicles or computers. No, there's a criteria. I have to go to school. I got to prepare myself. The same with a relationship. When you think about or you desire to become a wife, do you know how to cook? Are you clean? Are you good with kids? You know, if you don't like kids, well, more often than not, men want to reproduce. So these are things you got to be thinking about to put yourself in a position. A lot of women, which is why they didn't like hearing the truth when he would talk to them. They knew in themselves, they were lying to themselves. They weren't even in a position to become a wife. And men as well. A lot of men aren't prepared to be husbands. You know what I mean? So with that being said, you know, you got to put yourself in a position is what I always tell people, you know.
Yeah. He really used to get on the man too, man. Anytime he used to have an episode particular for men. His fuse was very short with men because he called it how it was, man. He's like, you guys are soft. You guys ain't, y'all worry about chasing women. Y'all ain't worried about y'all's purpose. Men used to call up there 45 years old, talking about they want a wife and kids, but they making 30 grand a year, $35,000 a year. It's like, no, bro, that's not possible. Like, so he used to really have a short fuse with the men. And like I said, I mean, he used to drop gems for the women. So, great content to watch, man. If anybody's watching this and they get a chance to watch it, just watch it, check it out, and it might help you in the long run.
Right on. Yeah, man. So, I mean, with that being said, we're going to, this is Married and Married to the Game. Wavy, what can we take from this? What can we learn from this? We're always that's the main question we always going to ask after every show, after every segment. We want to learn with you all, and you all learn from us. And it's a cycle. So what can folks take from this after watching this video?
Man, live your dreams to the fullest. Because at the peak of your prime, it might be your last day here on earth, and you might not be able to accomplish everything that you had in plan. So live life to the fullest. Excuse me, live out your dreams, and just enjoy life, man, and spread positivity. Spread positivity to people, and try to find a way to teach people so people can learn. And that's something that Kevin was able to do. Like I said, he passed away at the peak of his prime, but he got to spread his message. So live your life to the fullest, man, and live out your dreams.
That's real, and I can end it by just saying, I'm big on surrounding yourself around the right people. You hear any successful person, they're gonna say that exact same thing, something in that maybe not verbatim, but something along those lines. Be around people that are gonna hold you accountable. Be around people that when you walk in the room, they light up. They're happy to see you. Life is too short to be around people that are negative and that are stagnant. I always said, be an example for them, whether it's a family member, or friends. Be that example. But you also have to be honest with yourself. And Kevin Samuels, man, rest in peace to him, because he held us accountable, both men and women. Even if you didn't want to hear it, it's just like a football coach, basketball, any coach in life. When you're doing drills and things like that before the game, you don't know why you're doing it. It can be hard, tough, but once you get to the game and you start performing, you realize, wow, even though I didn't like everything coach said, I'm getting the results. So just always be open to listen, to learn, and always receive things with open mind and open heart. Man, rest in peace to Kevin Samuel. This is Married to the Game. We're dropping content consistently. We're just another positive platform out there for the world. We're not trying to do or be like anyone else. Shout out to every other content creator or creators out there. We spreading love, wisdom, knowledge, with some sauce.
That's it, baby. Simple and to the easiest, man. Two different perspectives from two different men. Different paths, same journeys. You know what I'm saying? So here we go, man. Married to the Game.
Straight like that, man. One love, Brother Rose signing out.
Baby Ray, deuces.